Welcome back, everybody. It's Sport Federation TV. Right, of course, we talk about all the sports in the Western Cape, across the districts, in South Africa, and it is activity full scale at the moment. Everybody's busy. Everybody is coming up with new competitions. There's provincial championships, district championships. There's development. There is empowerment. There is high performance. It is all different levels. Chris Naude is the president of Western Cape Climbing. Chris, welcome back.
Hi JP, good to be back. Yeah, as you say, it's a very exciting time. I think everybody suddenly decided time to get back into sport.
Well, I was just talking to you now 2 minutes ago saying that I follow you guys on Instagram, Western Cape Climbing,
Yep.
and this is where I see that there are different events or with a course, different workshops and courses coming up. You give all that publicity out there, which is great. So it's easy for me to phone and say, Chris, are you available? Before I talk to you about that, is that one of your sort of strategies, your game plans, is keeping everybody informed, keep them?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big thing these days. I mean, everybody knows social media, and yeah, you can see I'm a little old for that type of thing to really get into it. And everybody tells me I've got to be on TikTok, and I've got no idea what to do on TikTok. But so far we've got Instagram going well, and that seems to be have picked up as quite a way of communicating with people.
Yeah.
And that's where people look for information.
Do you have to have a dedicated person doing that? Like, have you got somebody?
We've got a very dedicated
Okay.
person. Not
Because
full time, but dedicated.
I mean, when one looks at your post, it does look like it's got a plan. It looks like it's always in the same format. It's neat and tidy. It shows me the date, the time, who must be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've kind of worked on that strategy. Whether we've got it right or not, we'll see. But we certainly have grown our Instagram following, and encourage anyone who's interested at all in climbing to follow us on Instagram. Yeah.
But you also seem to have this pathway plan. Like you seem to be going through education, high performance, development, and then it leads into activity.
Yeah, JP, that's a very good point. We've had, following on the Youth World Championships, which we had a couple of months back, there's been the Olympics and the Youth World Championships, both of them have really brought the visibility of climbing and made it a legit sport, if you like, which it hasn't always been seen as that. So there's been a lot of interest in climbing, and where we see that a lot is going down younger.
Yeah.
So we've now got a junior boulder competition coming up, which is sort of 6 to 13-year-olds. We've limited it to that. And a lot of those children are part of our high-performance plan, which we can chat a bit about that in a minute. But not all of them. So we're running it in a slightly new format. We're experimenting to give everybody an equal chance of winning prizes, if you like, so that even those who are not the podium winners will still feel like they're really contributing to the team effort.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of our plan, is to get them as involved and as motivated as possible, particularly just before the holidays.
So for those kids that are 6 years old or 7 that have just started,
Yeah.
and they're going into a boulder competition, and the
Yeah.
moms and dads have maybe seen this on Instagram, what would they have done in the build up to that? Is there a sort of a time frame before you let them on the boulder?
Really.
Or is it, you've got to obviously come and learn a little bit about it first?
Yeah, certainly from a competition point of view, they'll have to learn the rules, but bouldering is very intuitive. People love climbing, kids love climbing. Generally speaking, parents teach their children to be fearful of climbing. Children are not fearful of climbing. They climb everything.
How many trees did we fall out of when we were kids?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's an interesting point, is that actually it's the fear of the parents, not the fear of the children. Children are fine. They'll climb, and they won't fall off.
Yeah.
They won't do stuff that they can't do. And
so these kids, they would have had to learn the ropes though before their very first competition.
Yeah, so this particular competition, we've opened it up to everyone, but I think most of them will know that. But part of the reason why we've put them into teams is that the slightly more experienced ones, I mean, it's crazy to talk about 12-year-olds as being experienced, but
yeah,
they are.
yeah.
And they will help them along as well and say, no, you can't do that and you must do this and so on. So
is that something you've got
at mentorship or coaching, if you like, along the way?
I was going to ask you now, is that something that you've got at that age group, that the youngsters are leading or are embracing the juniors?
Absolutely. You know, it's one of the things about climbing, particularly not so much in bouldering, but in roped climbing. The kids are belaying one another, so the kids are dependent on one another for their safety as well.
Right.
I mean, look, obviously there's training involved in that.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is something that they learn from a very early age, is to encourage other people what to do and their partners. I mean, it is critical to the sport of climbing that you do have a partner that you can trust and depend on.
You've got the likes of Tiffany Wells involved from a high performance point of view.
Yeah.
Will she be looking at it from a high performance? Will she be assessing things?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So our high performance plan is that we've got Tiffany leading a bunch of better coaches.
Yeah.
So all the coaches will be at the competition, and they will all be looking at where the strengths and weaknesses of their proteges or their coachees. what
So what comes next then for Tiffany? Is she and you guys as Western Cape Climbing, are you looking at your calendar ahead? Are you planning ahead?
Yeah, so at the moment there's a bit of negotiation going on at the national level to see when all the competitions are happening at the national level.
Yeah.
That sort of works back from the world competitions.
Yes.
So there are certain competitions which we have to do next year by certain dates to qualify for Olympics and to the Olympic qualifiers all next
so all
year.
this preparation.
And the Youth Worlds will be in Korea next year, so that's a deadline which we have to work toward, and then the selection competitions to see who's going to go to Korea. So there's a sort of working backwards. We have to move fairly fast next year.
I get the feeling that there should be a buzz around Western Cape Climbing, with the amount of activity, expertise, smooth administration, events that are coming up, nicely organized clubs. I mean, it must be a feeling for you guys as of pride.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it's been going really well for the last couple of years. Yeah. And I mean, we're seeing that now in the parents of the children who've started to climb, who tentatively sticking their hands up to come and join the committee and so on. So there's quite a community around that as well, and I think that's really important. You know, to get as many volunteers as you can.
Chris, it's been great having you in studio as always. We can't wait to see what comes out from these juniors that are getting taken. But when is the event and where?
So 3rd of December, Saturday. It's for the day.
Right.
The team competition will be in the morning. And then there'll be a final in the afternoon for the top climbers to compete for the podium positions, if you like. And that's at Block 11 in Deep River.
Block 11 in Deep River.
Yeah, if you Google Maps it, it'll show you exactly where that is.
Open to the public?
Not for the climbing, but certainly public is very welcome to come and watch. And if anybody feels at all interested in climbing, we'd love to have them there and come and meet our committee and chat to them about what it means and what it takes, and see whether they like the feel of it.
I'm sure they will. Yeah. Chris, we leave it at that. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, JP. It's been great as always, and yeah, have a good weekend.
There we go. Right, folks. Chris Naude, President of Western Cape Climbing. Fantastic sports organization, really looking after the athletes, entry level, all the way through to high performance, hopefully into the Olympics. Doors are open, clubs are open, great family environment. It's an awesome, for those of you that haven't been, get down there and take a look. It's a great way to sit close to your children and watch them participating in a fantastic, comfortable environment with your shoes off and just really be having fun, in fact, and in the hands of excellent sports administrators. Folks, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Don't go away.